Mega Man X, one of the best games ever created, introduced me to an entirely different aspect of gaming. Amazing music, awesome stages, great gameplay, sick, crispy graphics, and more. And today, what we're going to do is go over what are the best stages in the entire game of Mega Man X. And I'm going to be using 3 different variables for each stage. The first one being the music, second one being aesthetics, like graphics and stage design and all that stuff, and the third one will be tech skill, which the skill ceiling for the stage, like how hard or easy it is. And, you know, as me, being a former speedrunner of the game, I don't mean former, because I could come back to it at any point, which might happen, but we'll see. Before I get to the video, just want to remind everybody that only 10% of you watching this video are actually subscribed, so let's bump those rookie numbers up and then get everybody subbed in here, okay? That'd be great. It'd help me out. Thank you. Now, I'm gonna admit this is gonna be really difficult to grade because, well, Mega Man X is, after all, the best game ever made, of course, and everybody knows that, but there are so many good things about this game, and everything about it is just a 10 out of 10 for me, so it's going to be really hard to put these stages into tiers, but I'll do my best. And we're not going to go in any particular order today, but we are going to be starting with the highway. And shouts to Egoraptor for breaking this entire level down and proving that Mega Man X is indeed the best game ever made. Now, as far as the tech skill in the highway, it does revolve a lot around the mashing skill. That is, if you want to go fast, you don't really have any upgrades like the dash, you don't have any extra weapons or anything like that, so I'm going to say the overall tech skill of the level is probably maybe a 6. If you're really good at mashing, I'm going to say it's about a 9, since it is very difficult doing speedruns. Music. Yes, this track is amazing, but as many times as I've heard it, I'm going to be a little bit biased. It does get old and irritating after a while. However, it does not take away from the fact that it is an amazing song. It's a great opener. It's kind of just rough and aggressive, and it just jumps you into the game. It's a great track for starting the game. As far as the aesthetics of the stage, I do like it a lot. I like the colors. I mean, they're a little bit on the darker side-ish. You know, you got the gray background, and I do really like the background. It's destroyed, and it just shows you, like, man, like, shit's kind of crazy. Oh, little blue guy is gonna help save the day here, but I like the fact that the platforms crumple, and you know, all the tight jumps and everything like that. It's a great stage. I'd say overall, I would give the intro stage, I'd say about a 7.5 out of 10. We'll go with 7.5. Then after the highway, which is the stage that I picked even as a kid, is Chill Penguin, because who the hell would want to play this game without dash?
Dash! That's all you gotta do, man! Dash!
I myself am a big fan of frosty, like, ice levels. I must say, the music, I don't know how people do it whenever they create music for certain stages or themes or whatever, but the music just fits the level. Like, in the music, you can hear kind of the frosty, kind of snowy vibes that it gives off. So, I mean, I love Chill Penguin's theme. It's great. I'm going to give this track, the music, about a 9. So that's pretty high up there. The aesthetics, I do love. You know, again, it's biased, but I'm not wrong if I say that the stage is super well designed. I do like the pre-boots, what I mean by that is before you get the dash. I do like the tight jumps and everything. It's all the stuff is coming down from you, the outside, and then you're coming into the cave. It's just a great stage. And then afterwards, when you get the dash boots, you know, you can utilize like all your platforming skills, you know, the fast-paced. I actually, come to think of it, this kind of goes into the tech skill too, is that This is a pretty difficult stage to do fast because in the cave, you know, you got all the ostriches, all the enemies, and then you have to, you know, shoot through. And then at the end, the snowballers, getting through those quickly and then not getting hit is also very difficult. So I'm going to give the aesthetics of the stage probably an 8.5. And then tech skill, I'm going to give it about an 8. Next, we have Boomer Kuwanger. One of the hardest stages, if not the hardest stage, in the game to execute. I do like the music. It kind of fits the theme of we're going to fight this menacing, kind of sinister beetle, you know, because that is what a Kuwanger is after all. I didn't find that out until, you know, recently. I hate to admit, but the music is, it's kind of like we're going up, you know, and it just fits the stage. And again, I can't believe these artists, music artists for the stage, are able to fit the vibes. Like they can just tell like what's going to happen in the music, and it's an amazing feat. Just can't stress it how impressed I am by that. Yeah, the music's awesome. I'm gonna give it like an 8.5 for sure. Now, the aesthetics of the stage, there is a lot of climbing. I'm not a huge fan of climbing stages, although that does introduce a lot of potential for tech skill. So aesthetics, I do like the fact that like we're inside of like this silo thing, right? And then we go out, and then, you know, here it is, like big bright blue sky, and then we go back into the silo, and then there's more climbing. So you know, I do like the colors, like the crispy red platforms, and you know, we go from like a really dark inside of the silo, and then we go out, and it's just kind of like these really bright colors. So I would say easily, you know, 7.5 for aesthetics. Now, as far as the tech skill, this is the hardest stage in the entire game, in my opinion. Again, because what I said, the climbing aspect of the stage really introduces a ton of potential for high skill ceiling. And let's also not forget Ice Whisk. So you guys know what that is. You can get this heart tank without the use of the boomerang or the charged ice sled, in which you get from Chill Penguin. The Ice Whisk heart is a very difficult trick that has been in the speedrun for many years now, over a decade, I'd say at this point. And yeah, that's easily the hardest trick in the game, I would say. So yeah, I would give this a tech skill score of probably 10 out of 10. Then up next, we have Flame Mammoth, also a very cool stage. As far as the music goes, it's either this or Sigma 1 as my favorite music track in the entire game. So I do like the kind of grungy feel of the music for this stage. Makes you feel like you're kind of in a factory. It's kind of fast-paced. It's just kind of grungy, rough. You can just hear and taste the iron and steel being processed, you know, with the music. And so I easily, this is probably like 9.5, maybe even a 10 for the music for me. The aesthetics of the stage, again, like it's really, like it's super cool. I do like the dynamic of if you do beat Chill Penguin's level, the lava gets frozen over. That's a really cool aspect of the stage, but if you don't, there is lava everywhere, and you know, it's really cool. It's a factory, and you know, all these like different bots are being made, and there's construction workers, and there's a lot of steel piping and rungs and every breakable blocks and things like that in the level. It's very cool. I do like the conveyors as well. Kind of just show, I mean, you're just in a factory. So yeah, I would say aesthetics, easily like a 9. It just really fits the level. And as far as the tech skill, a little bit on the lower side. However, like I said before, the conveyors, you can utilize those to make you go a little bit faster. There is the jump that a lot of people aren't really that good at. Jump where you have to go, and that's where you get the Buster upgrade. A lot of people end up missing that, but it's not too hard. So, that's, I'm not going to give that like a high score on the tech skill. But there is the sub tank to get. There's the heart and everything like that. It's overall pretty simple. It's a pretty simple stage overall. So I'm gonna say this is probably like more like a 5 or a 6 as far as the tech skill goes. Next, Sting Chameleon, also a very great level. Big fan of Forest E kind of things. So yeah, I'd say this is gonna be pretty good for me. I do like the music a lot. It's, you know, this has been a recurring theme. I just keep saying I do like the music a lot. You know, it's really difficult to kind of differentiate good tracks and amazing tracks when the game is the best game ever made. But I do kind of hear kind of the foresty, the wood, like the leaves and everything in the track. It's kind of like a mysterious kind of like, you know, let's go through the forest type of thing. I would say that this track is probably like an 8 for me. And then the aesthetics of it, yeah, I love the background, all the dudes coming up out of the little matars coming up out of the little bushes and everything. I do like the cave that is down below where the heart tank is hidden there. And again, another interesting dynamic, if you beat Launch Octopus's stage first before you come here, the water is there. So that's a pretty cool little thing. Also, if you go up and then you beat the big green robot guy guarding the armor upgrade, their rocks do not fall anymore whenever you go down and then go through the cave. So that's a pretty cool thing there. It's got like a couple different paths, you know, that you can take to kind of like expand the stage. It is pretty simple overall, though. It's kind of like a long hallway, not a whole lot of things guarding, you know, the overall level. I do like where the mech is, though, and then the quick sand kind of, you know, when you dash through, it kind of it pulls you down, so you gotta be wary of that. So that's kind of a cool thing. And tech skill, I wouldn't say this is a very difficult level. It's pretty simple. Not a whole lot of stuff to optimize here. Getting the heart is probably the most difficult thing, but again, if you beat Launch Octopus before coming here, which is pretty likely, I'd say, in a casual playthrough, it's pretty easy to do. So I'm going to give this probably like a 5/5 as far as the tech skill goes. Spark Mandrill. Now this song is one of the most popular in the entire Mega Man franchise. Usually when people talk about Mega Man X, they usually mention Spark Mandrill's theme. Now, hot take. I think it's a little bit overrated, but it is a very good song nonetheless. Smooth McGroove made a really popular video some time ago featuring this song. And yeah, again, it is very talked about, very popular track, but even though I do think it's a little overrated, it is still very good. I really like the kind of the it's kind of grungy a bit, you know. It's not the factory style like you know, Flame Mammoth is nonetheless, but it's kind of like a really just fast-paced, high energy song. And you know, for me, I'm gonna give it a 7/5. And as far as the aesthetics of the stage, you know, I do like how everything is set up, and you know, there's a lot of ladders everywhere. You know, it's just an electrical plant. You know, it's really cool. So it's like kind of like the electric stage of the game. And the cool thing about this stage is, interestingly, if you beat Storm Eagle, the Thunder Slimer, the mini boss of the level, won't have its ability to shoot lightning, and also the sparks on the ground won't trigger, because I guess the lore is the Eagle ship crashed onto the power plant or whatever, so it doesn't like work too well, and it's going into its backup stage, which is really cool. There's also the flashing lights, which make it kind of cool. You know, there's the things that fly at you to create the light and all that. It's a really cool stage. I would say this is easily like an 8. And as far as the tech skill goes, surprisingly, the tech skill of the stage is quite high, because like there's the heart piece that you can get that requires like the boomerang, or not if you don't want to use the boomerang. There's also the dark hallways. They do require a lot of practice to go through like pretty efficiently. You know, there's the whole stage is just like up, down, go, like right, and then go fast, and then there's the midsection, that tiny little narrow hallway with a lot of enemies in there. Yeah, it's pretty technical stages. There is a lot of like these dark hallways that are hard to get through and everything. So I would say this probably gets like probably a 7/5. And speaking of Storm Eagle, this music is amazing. Now, this is easily top 5 favorite tracks of the entire game. I like it. It's open, it's fast, it's such an amazing track. I have always loved this as a kid. I've always sought out to hear remixes of this level, And I've heard so many iterations of this track, and yeah, it just never gets old. I just love this. This is easily like a 9.5 for me, if not a 10 out of 10. As far as the aesthetics of the level, I like it that we're on just like this big, this big ship, like a hangar almost. It's outside, it's a great level. There are the conveyor belts and everything that take you up. And there's like that little missile silo that puts you in this like little glass case, and there's like tanks that you can destroy, and it leads to like the helmet upgrade, and then extra level or extra lives, rather, and the platforms that you have to go across. It's just a super cool level. I would give this like easily like an 8. The tech skill, it's fairly simple. A level. I mean, there's some type platforming sections, but there is the trick called the magic carpet. Again, which I was pretty old, not as old, but it is a difficult trick to pilot the carpet once you have it there. But as far as difficult things in the game, or difficult things in the stage, rather, this is probably the only thing in the entire level that is difficult about it, other than like the mid stage, like the platforming and stuff. So yeah, I would say tech skill probably like a 7. Armadillo, probably the least interesting stage in the entire game, in my opinion. We're underground, and it's a tunnel. It's rocks everywhere and everything. I do like the music. The riffs and everything are kind of cool for the stage itself. I'd say like the track itself is probably like a 6.5, a 7. So it is a great track, but we're comparing every other track to it. So this overall aesthetics, we're in like a mine. It's a pretty straightforward stage. I mean, it's just like one long hallway for what it is. But there is the cart that you can ride. There are 2 of them in the level, and they are pretty quick. But then we go down, and then we fight there's 2 of these little mini boss, the cruncher guys, with the round. Those are pretty cool. But yeah, as far as the level goes, I don't know. It's like I said, it's the least interesting in my opinion. So I would have to get it probably about a 5. And as the tech skill goes, also not really a whole lot going on here. Like I said, it's just a straight, narrow stage. You're just pretty much just going right, and that's about it. I would say this, as far as the tech skill goes in the game, or in the stage rather, I would say probably about a 4 out of 10. It's pretty easy. And finally, for the Maverick stages, we have Launch Octopus. This is the water level of the entire game. Now, for the music starting off, while it doesn't have the vibes like usually in water levels, when in video games they're a little more calm, they're kind of softer or quieter. This game, no, it just goes hard. You're in the water, you're these badass like mechanical fish, and you're fighting a bunch of mechanical stuff, and there's spikes everywhere, and Mega Man X doesn't need to breathe, because he doesn't, and he didn't really care about it. And yeah, the music, it just goes hard. That's all I can really say about the stage theme, and it's got like the bam 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 and like the bass line, so I really think it's just awesome. I'm gonna give this song like a straight 9, to be honest. Now, as far as the aesthetics, like water levels are usually pretty cool. In games, like I said before, they're a little bit slower, usually, slow paced, kind of sludgy, like gotta push 10 pounds of shit through a 2-pound bag kind of pace, but no, not this one. The water doesn't slow you down at all. Yeah, I really like the background, like it's just and the physics and how the water works and everything. Yeah, it's a great level. It's a very, very, very good level. 8.5 probably for the aesthetics. And as far as the tech skill goes, stage itself, if you're doing the 100% run, is really hard. There's a lot of lag management that you have to worry about. Tons of sprites, tons of things that really lag the frame rate, and a lot of strats that do revolve around that. The quick kills with the mini subs, and then the snakes that come up, and the heart tank, and the overall movement is very difficult. It's not Boomer Kuwanger or, Spark Mandrill difficult, but it is pretty hard. As far as the tech skill goes in this level, I'm going to give it a 9. So now that we're done with the Maverick stages, let's move on to the Sigma Fortress stages. Now, we're going to start with Sigma 1, obviously it's the first one. This stage has music that every time I hear it, no matter where I am, no matter what time, it's incredibly nostalgic. It just brings me back to my childhood every single time it plays. I did say that this tier list, is going to be a little bit biased, but every tier list pretty much is. That track for Sigma 1 is by far my favorite in the entire game. Flame Mammoth is a close second, but yeah, Sigma 1 has such great music. It's got so many elements in the song. I'm gonna give this a 10 out of 10 for sure. The aesthetics of the stage are really interesting. This is your first impression. It's okay, I'm not gonna fuck around anymore. We're gonna go fight Sigma, and this is what we are dealt with. This is what has been handed to us. We're in this sky fortress. It's really dark. Skies are purple. It's already giving you the vibe that, well, not everything's gonna be all right. You got the difficult platforming section in the very start, and then everything else. It just the stage has so many different elements, and the development of it is fantastic. I'm gonna give this a 9. And then the skill ceiling, the tech skill, it's not super up there. The platforming section is not very difficult in the speedrun. A few lag management strats that aren't too difficult. There is the vial skip. That's not really that hard either. There is the climbing section that's sort of technical, but it's not too bad. There's horizontal sections, there's vertical sections, there's pretty much everything that you want in platforming to be in the stage, but it's not overly difficult. So I'm gonna give this probably a 7.5 for tech skill. Moving on to Sigma 2, and much like Spark Mandrill stage, this stage is, the music rather, is often talked about. People really seem to love this song. This is kind of a funky track. Whenever I think of it, I just think of robots just dancing. I'm not really sure why that is exactly, but it's a very, very upbeat. It's a much different vibe that Sigma 1 gave us. And then we jump into Sigma 2, it's oh, this is now for something completely different. And it just works for the stage, too. I like the funky colors and all the different elements to the stage. I'm going to give this probably about an 8, for sure. Aesthetics of the stage, yeah, we're going outside, we're inside, it's very similar to how the Sigma 1 stage is set up as far as horizontal, the hallways, and then there's climbing to be had too. It's kind of a similar setup, but as far as the aesthetics go, as far as how interesting the stage is, I wouldn't say it holds a candle to Sigma 1. So I'm gonna probably give this I'm gonna say about a 7. And then the technicality of the stage is not that difficult. There's not really a whole lot to optimize in this level, aside from, gap jumping through the ladders where you can skip the ladder animation and stuff. That's pretty much it. So I'm going to give this probably about a 5. And then moving on to Sigma 3. This music for this level is very ominous. It's creepy. I think it gives you the vibe of, we just came from something funky, now it's time to get serious. It's very, very ominous, very dark, very, you have no idea what's about to come to you. Some people don't really like this track. I do. I think it fits the bill. I think it's pretty cool. I would give this track probably an 8.5, I'd say. The aesthetics of the stage, we went from multicolored stages, and this one's really dark. There's a lot of light green and dark blue colors in the stage. Kind of pipe-y. There's one section of the stage where you go underwater, which totally makes sense. It doesn't hold a candle to the Sigma 1 aesthetics or any of the Maverick stage aesthetics. So, while it is pretty okay. I suppose, you know, the map, the Sigma Fortress stages really kind of capitalize on the fact that every part of the stage you're fighting like a, you know, previous boss, so it kind of revolves around that. But this stage is, you know, I mean, except for the water level and then the conveyor belts and Flame Mammoth's room, not really a whole lot going there, so I'd probably get this about a 6. As far as the tech skill, the Armadillo skip is very difficult to do on good runs, so you gotta give it that. Some of the movement, as well as the Chameleon Hadoken, that is also really difficult to optimize as well. Some of the movement, there's lag reduction and difficult kind of climbing sections, so I would give this, as far as the technical aspect of the stage, a good 8.75. That's a fair score. Then we have the final stage, Sigma level. Vertical climbing section, music 1, aesthetics 1, technical skill 1. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna actually include this because it's not really a stage. It's just a few boss fights. But this isn't a video about boss fights. It's about stages. So we're gonna leave this one out. Now that we have analyzed all the stages, it is time to put them in our tier list. We're going to start with the highway stage. And I've already explained why it's such a good level. Again, shout out to Raptor for that video. But it does teach you everything that you need to know about the game. And it's super well designed. And with the music, aesthetic, technical skill, I'm easily going to put this in the A tier. And then afterwards, we're going to do Chill Penguin. This is the Frosty level again. It's the first level that you, I don't know, I see a lot of people do this in casual playthrough. They go here first, and it gives you the boots, and once you get the boots, then the game really opens up. I'm going to also put this in A tier as well. And guys, don't be surprised if I just put everything in S and A tier. It's kind of difficult to divide perfection from perfection, as the game is perfect. So don't mind me there. Then let's go to Flame Mammoth stage. The conveyors and everything, the music is what carries this level, I feel like. But as far as the stage overall goes, I'm gonna put this in B tier. I think that's fair. Kuwanger's level. This level is amazing. It's the hardest level in the whole game to optimize. So I think the tech really carries it there. I did give that a 10. You know, the spike elevator. You know, I'm just gonna put this. I'm gonna put this in S tier for sure. Yeah. Steam Chameleon, foresty level with different paths and everything. I would put this in A tier, mainly because of I like the dynamic of being able to kind of choose your path. Like at the very beginning, you can either go down or below, and either one gives you a reward. So I do like the multi-functional aspect of the stage. It's very cool. Spark Mandrill stage. The music, amazing. The technical skill, the aesthetics, the electrical level. I'm gonna put this in B tier. That is probably going to trigger some people, but that is just my opinion. I don't care. It's my tier list. Storm Eagle stage. I'm just gonna give this an S tier. Music, sky level, it's just awesome. It needs no introduction, basically. Armadillo stage, I did kind of rag on this one a bit. I'm gonna stand by what I said. It's probably the least interesting stage in my opinion, so I'm gonna put this in C tier. And I would be very surprised if I found anything below C tier. Nothing belongs in D tier in this entire game. So, Launch Octopus. Again, a really cool level. I don't know if it belongs in S tier, but I would definitely put this in A tier. Sigma 1. Again, this is a bias thing, so I'm going to put this in S tier. I told you why, but I stand by my decision. Then Sigma 2, the kind of the funky stage. I'm going to put this in B. Yeah, I think it belongs in B. And then Sigma 3, is it an interesting level? Not really. Does it have the tech skill? If it wasn't for the Armadillo skip and the Chameleon Hadoken, I would probably put this level in C tier. But due to that, I think it deserves a B score. So, well, yeah, there you have it. So yeah, that wraps up the Mega Man X stage tier list. Very fun video to make. Leave it in the comments below if you want me to make more stuff like this. I definitely have other ideas in which I want to make videos. So this was, again, a ton of fun to make. And yeah, don't get too mad about my tier list, but it is biased after all. If you don't like it, just make one of your own. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. And I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good day.